Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Let's see. First in the chat, darling dears. Trying to bring it up. Slim Jim, Big Cat, Wave, Donny Renee, Fist Bump. Who else is here? Malibu, I see you. Rupinda, Wagwan, Mrs. Street, Fist Bump. Glad you could pop in. We're going to have a little tete-a-tete. How about that? How about that? Why? Because it's a hater alert, darling dears. Send out the word. Father God Most High, Mother Isis is lifting the veil over they, them, and Why? Because they need to know that you come with a different kind of je ne sais quoi. Your gangster is real. You are divine, darling dears. You are strong. You are gifted. You are good looking. How about that? You have a captivated audience. They didn't know that you came with all of this je ne sais quoi. They didn't. Well, they know now. Why? Because we're about to fast approach the age of Aquarius. I believe in the next, over the next 2 to 3 days, I'm going to be putting out the New Year read, darling dears. Everyone else is doing it on all of the different planetary actions, but bebe, bestie, oi, we're going to talk about what? Pluto in Aquarius. I'm going to give you the rundown because last time Pluto was in Aquarius, darling dears, right? Was about 248 years ago. This is a once in a lifetime move. And when Pluto's in Aquarius, certain things happen, right? In the 1600s, it was the reformation of the churches. Yes, baby, that's when Protestantism came into force. Yes. And when it was after that time in the 1700s, darling dears, the Declaration of Independence was signed in the US of A, darling dears. Yes, and there was the French Revolution where they chucked out the whole monarchy. We're going to be seeing innovation in technology, darling dear, in AI, robotics, aviation. We're going to be seeing instead of it being one voice, the collective voice is going to be heard. But I digress. We need to talk about the haters who's paying and don't stop spaying. Spread the word, bestie, because you know these reads take 12 hours to upload. Not everyone will see it. So you have to be my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fist bump. Let's carry on, darling dears. Because they're watching. They can't help it. They can't. They cannot. Why? Because they must. Especially the ones that was the most wickedest to you, darling dears. Especially the ones that can't keep your name out of their mouth. Why? They wouldn't have nothing else to talk about. They'd have to talk about their life, which is on the rocks of life, darling dears. What did you say, Rapinda? My IQ is what? Baby, my IQ's as high as it wants to be, as is yours, right? I'm a keyboard gangster. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn midhaven. Research is my go-to move, darling dears. Jacqueline, Arenton, Big Cat Wave, Brunisha M. Hello, darling, you're right here. She's the youngest of us, I do believe. I don't know if you actually are, but your energy, darling dears. I feel like I have to baby you every time I see you, B. You're right, B, you good? Let's dive in, darling dears. Let's dive in and see what's going on with the haters. Trying with the haterzoid. What they seeing? Let's move on at a hot trot. Let's get the dice. We're going to be narrowing things down, darling dears. Getting time frames and all that. What's that? Bernicia, what's that? Donnie Renee, the baby. Well, I don't know if she's a baby, but I just get that energy that she is. I don't know. I'm not trying to cast any aspersion on your bee. Don't pick on Bernicia. That's my baby friend, yeah? Allow her. Yes, baby. I told you. Everything came out in the red, darling dear, for alert. The energy of the one is what? Evaluate everything, darling dears. Why? They're going to be what? Turning up on you like cockroaches, darling dears, that will scatter in the light of your what? Third eye, darling dears. Evaluate everything. You're going to be getting communication from the dead. Listen, not the literal dead, darling dears, the people that are dead to you. Yeah, they're coming back. And it also speaks about them what? Watching you. They're trying to discover your gangster. They can't understand when they abandoned, they abused, they lied. They did all of this and that, darling dear, yet still here you are, like the Rock of Ages, saying love and light with two of these and one of those. Yes, of course, you are using communicative dance, darling dears. We don't speak to no one from the past. We're not necromancers, nor do we have Frankenstein in our names. You also have the energy of the four. What is the four? I told you, bestie. Pay attention. This is why I show you the cards, the dice, and I explain them every time they come up. I show you the four because it's communication. They wants to talk, darling dears. They want a power. You better avoid that like the plague. Alright? They're bad lucky, blood. And you didn't want the bad luck. Listen, if that don't make you what? Pack up your troubles. And what's shine on, darling dears? I don't know what will. Audra die. Big cat wave. The energy of the five. All right, darling dears, your birthday could be the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd, or these days are going to be significant to you. Why? The energy of the 5 is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communications, darling dears. What do I keep telling you? Somebody want to talk. Now they want to talk out of their gingivitis mouth, darling dear, full of wickedness, and their mind and their heart is dark and cold. They don't want to talk because they want to be friendly. They want to find out your shiznai so they can spread the word to the other ones that are dead to you. Fist bump. The energy of the 5 speaks about what? The confusion, the conflict, the instability that was in your cranium and your life when you was around them. But the 5 also speaks of what? Constructive change and freedom, darling dears. You freed yourself. And it wasn't easy, darling dears. It wasn't. Some of you are still wondering if you made a mistake. Now listen, you're going to have me shouting. Where's my shit? Hold on. What do you mean? Listen, if you're thinking that you made a mistake by not going back, look, it's tattered because we use it often. That is blood clot and blood clottery, and you must scrub it from your mind. No, you didn't make a mistake. As I was saying about the energy of the 5, darling dears, it's not the best time for them to try and approach you at this moment in time. Why? Because they're about to be blown over, right? Them being in your life created a bad phase in your life for you, darling dears. You didn't realize it when you was in it. But when you get far enough and you find people like me on the internet, who's your best friend, right? Who doesn't want you to go through bad things, but realize you have to go through certain things, darling dears, to realize whom you are. And to realize that you are the survival kit for another big cat. Remember, I told you that. All eyes are on your throne. You do things differently. And why you don't complain? Complainers are for the feeble-minded, darling dears. We don't complain. We get great. We find we don't worry about an issue. No, blood. We're too busy focusing on the answers. And every answer will come to you. We don't waste time worrying. Who wants wrinkles? Who wants to be crying into their fist? And if you are, baby, put me on hold. I'll still be here when you come back. Go straight to a mirror Look deep into your eye chakras and then slap the shiznai out of yourself until blood and spittle flies. Stat! Wash your face like David and come right back. Once you've got your flip-flop on, what's that? Your common sense, blood? A superpower that is not a flower that grows in every garden, darling dears. I've told you this many times. Right. We're going to lean in even further. So they want to communicate with you, darling dears. It could be from a letter. They may even still have your address. If they have, it would be like a letter straight from the crevice of the devil's balls. When it lands on your doormat, darling dear, you'll see a crater in the floor. Don't open it. Don't open it. Right? Anthrax and all that, darling dear. Anthrax. They've got spiritual anthrax on them. Anyhow, let's press on, darling dears, because I don't want this to be too long because I've got things to do. But we're besties, and when we get together live, darling dear, you guys are so addictive. I love the energy, darling dears. Why? Because we're big cats, and when we get together to have our mockers, so that we're not, cheers, bestie, so that we're not getting smoked, darling dear. So much intel is on the tableau. And I know, bestie, you won't tell anyone. Love it. I don't hate it. Oh my God. My mocker is at what? Dangerous. Oh, Shay! Shay! These slow moving progenies. Hold on a minute. Let me get my son to get me some more mocha. Hold on. Shay! Could you get me another coffee, please? Thank you. Yes, man. I know I could make it myself, but the way my son makes it, he gets it so creamy on the top, I don't even know. That's right, Slim Jim, it's my favorite son. Shh, shh, don't tell him, because he didn't want to hear that because he's the only one. Shh, shh, don't tell him, Slim Jim, don't tell him. Anyhow, let's carry on with this read, darling dears. We have a what? A 1 and a 4. Bestie, it speaks about issues. There's somebody that's got it. They're going through some kind of a money issue, darling dears. Childless, if they've got progeny, their progeny don't really support them, darling dear. Maybe the progeny's getting them into debt, but they've got a lot of money troubles. Before they focus on their what? Bank account, they're focused on you, darling dear. And they're not even focused on their spiritual debt account, darling dear. Why? Because the devil always comes for its due. And as I said, Father God Most High is lifting the veil off of they, them, and eyes. You are Trung. You get no S. Trung. Anytime you're feeling you're not sure what's going on, come and see me, darling dear, and I'll tell you exactly what Trung means. I'm not saying you didn't cry. I'm not saying that you weren't upset, right, for a good 5 minutes. I was upset for 5 minutes, right? And it was a dark 5 minutes, blood. I had to take off my lace front. I did. I nearly stepped outside of myself. Then I said, you know what? It's nearly 6 minutes now. I've got to get back to my usual jovial self. Bad arsery at its finest, darling dears. That's right, Vernetta. You're Trung. Never you forget that, and you say it with your chest. Still carrying on. The energy of the 5, darling dears, is represented by what? That's right, darling dears. I told you I teach. As I give you reads, I teach. The 5 is the Hierophant. This is the God card in tarot, as well as sometimes it can be the King of Swords. Sometimes it can be the Emperor. All right, carrying on. The Hierophant, Taurus energy, the 2nd house, darling dears, the 2nd house of your values, your income. So now we're narrowing it down to exactly what's their issue. They want to know how you do what you do. Why? Because you're not going on like you are what? Carrying on like you've got all of the Skrillers, darling dears, but how you are still afloat, darling dears. They don't understand. Sometimes you are shocked in how the Skrillers turn up for you. Okay, Skriller is your money. The folding stuff. You don't have to worry. You have faith, darling dears. Why? Because you are on the right path. Because you chose to what? Turn towards the light. Not like Carol Ann, darling dear. That's a whole different thing. And we discussed that about going towards the light when you pass on. Listen, let me stay on track because they don't want me to talk about it, darling dears. This is why they got my mouth all over the place. But you can't control the big cat. No, 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 no. Au contraire, we're getting French up in this bitch today, darling dears. I'm telling you, I'm coming with it. Right. Hierophant energy. So it's about your values, darling dears. They want to know what's in your wallet, darling dears. Yes, they do. Some of them are looking at your job. They're trying to find out things, darling dears. Because the second house also speaks about habits. Some of them are trying to perpetrate, right, wickedness against you out of their gingivitis mouth, saying that you're maybe a drug addict, a gambler, and God forbid, a harlot. They're telling people that you are out there slinging peen and punani. Listen, they'll tell anyone anything, but who's listening? This is the questions you need to ask yourself. Only the others that are in mud huts, darling dears. They can only tell dull-eyed simpletons these things. They can't come up to a big cat and dare to say what's going on in your life when they don't even know what's in your wallet. It's only speculation and subterfuge. Good, golly, and gosh. Right, son? You gonna say hi to the big cat?
Everyone.
See my handsome son? You stay away from him! No, I'm not overly babying him, but let me tell you something. Him can get who him want, but he better hand me their birth natal chart. Why? Because that person will produce in my grandbabies, darling dears. He's got to be very careful, because the mummy's got a tick, tick, boom, boom. All right, let's carry on. Oh, I'm sweating now. Nobody don't... Listen, this change of life ain't easy, blood. It's not easy. And it's -1 in the UK today, darling dears. We're the person. They need to allow us because the gas prices are astronomical. Let me tell you something. But anyway, I digress again, darling dears. Yeah. So they're trying to find out about your income. They want to know about your home life. They want to know whom you're doing it with, darling dears. And as I said, they're adding more. They're telling people you're slinging panani, right? And futum out there in them streets. Imagine that, you're slinging it, but they can't get none. How can that be? You're out. They said, not me, they said, right? That you're out there doing this, but they can't get none. I don't understand. Do you understand, bestie? I don't understand. Nor do I want to understand, because I don't like to live in madness, right? Madness. Fucking these blood, mind-altering fucking these Fagans of the truth roof. They're a what? Kidnapper of the truth. Because they don't know really what's going on at what Don't Get Smoked Central. We've all got them as a big cat, darling dears, where we reason, where we think, where we build our wealth in silence. Because remember, people that really have got the skrillers, they don't look like they've got it, but they've got the investments, darling dears. They're getting their properties. Listen, bestie, I've been trying for the longest time to get you into the cryptos. Between now and 2026 is going to be the largest transference of wealth. They are getting rid of the middle classes. If you're going to go into cryptocurrency, invest in AI, robotics, darling dears, aviation, air, attention-grabbing things like gaming. Even if it's only 10 skrillers a month, you do this, bestie. You do this, right? When you go to invest, I use Coinbase, Gemini, Robinhood. When you go into invest, make sure you read the white papers. But you start 10 skrillers a month. 10 skrillers, you can do it. I can't advise you on it. Why? Because I'm not a financial advisor, darling dears. But I know what's going on, and I know what's working for me. Listen, I've said too much already. Let me shut up. But I can't shut up, because part of this show, it is a show. It's for me to talk. And I'm a chatty cat. But certain things, I've given you the heads up. You do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, go and watch my Mercury retrograde read, darling dears, because it begins on the 12th or 13th of December, where it's depending on where you are on the GPS, darling dears. I've given you predictions, right, on specific dates when the 1% is going to be being shown out, darling dear. They're going to be getting a spiritual whoop ass. Write it on your almanacs, because I want you to confirm what I've predicted is going to happen, darling dears. And it's all in line with the Mercury retrograde. Let me tell you something. The Mercury retrograde and the Pluto going into Aquarius. We are in listen. The Marauders don't want me to talk about them, but let's guess what? I've got the strength for that, darling dears. The 5. The 5, it also speaks about a 5. They see you as attractive, darling dear. Some of them they've got a Jones for you, darling dear. But listen, like I said, they're saying that you're slinging this and that, or even your this and that is no good, but yet they can't get none. Imagine that. What's that, Slim Jim? I live by the 50-degree rule. I don't know what that is, darling dears. Hit me up in the Gmail, Slim Jim. Let's have a tete-a-tete. I'm going to start a group where we can actually talk and exchange information. But anyway, let's press on. Let's get we got to get a runestone first. Oh, I didn't finish telling you this. The number 5. So the letters E, N, and W could be in their names. The luckiest numbers for you over the next few days is a 1, 5, and 7. You are a free spirit, darling dears. You are not bound by the laws of this Malkuth. Why? I've told you many times, bestie, if you found me, you know that you are a volunteer here, right? And once you realize crying over what people that were sent to open and uplift you with their wickedness, right? Once you realize that is a thankless and unfathomable task, and realize that the focus is always and should be on thyself. Socrates said it, Tesla said it, I've said it. Okay, let's carry on, darling dears. Is there anything else about the 5 that you need to know? Come on, Case, go into your grey matter. The 5 is what? The 5th house, darling dears. The 5th house, big cat Leo energy. Leo is about your childlike spirit. It's about the urge to create things, darling dears. But it's also the house of dating. So it could be someone that you dated. It's the house of romance, the sex, darling dears. But it's also the house of what? That's right, bestie. Drama.com. Somebody wants to what? Clip your wings. They don't want you to be happy. This is why they're watching you. And they can't believe what they're seeing about you. The strength, darling dears. I've told you, you're Trong. Let's ring this bell and let that Bajuju stay around them. May you forever be a bionic cat. Fist bump. Hey! Listen, they wasn't ready for you, darling dears. They thought you was a what? A no-neck that they could just push around. Imagine that. But yet they want you to slip back into their life. Baby, you don't need to be amongst what? Candyman and Beetlejuice. Not when they're embodying themselves on this Malkuth. Hold a minute. There's a muffin here. Right, I'm not going to kill it, but I'm going to encourage it to move from where I can see, right? Because I'm telling you, try not to kill the moths, right? I'm trying not to be a murderer. Okay, let's get to the runestones, darling dears. I would like 3 runestones, past, present, and future position. Listen, when you ask, it's given, darling dears. You see this? This came right in front of me. This is what Wunjo, darling dears. This is in a future position. Look at this. In your past position, radio. Your strength was taken. This is chariot energy on its face, Cancer, which is moon energy. The moon represents Cancer as well as Pisces energy on its face, darling dears. So this is what you had to take off like a layer, like a dirty shirt. This speaks about what people enjoyed when you was passive in a situation, lacking in focus, right? They wanted you to stay disaligned as you focused on their shiznai, which was what? Straight up fucking ease, blood. Straight. Come through safari. Posh clap. Yeah, they liked it when you wasn't focused, when things weren't working out for you. But remember, darling dears, how great was your life before they came into it? How great was your life every time you left their energy and their presence? You kept going on. Yeah, like the ever-ready bunny. But you're a cat, darling dears. A big cat to boot. And what they wish for you, darling dears, they're going through. We're talking about they, them, and that's watching you, darling dears. Their life is a crisis. If they've got a car, they can't afford it, or they're jealous of the Flintstones. You also got swallowed. Listen, this is the unhappiest set I've ever met, darling dear. Unhappy and unlucky, sun energy on its face. This is swallow. Radio is represented by the letter R. It brings into mind the number 7 as well as the number 5, darling dears. We already had the 5 out, so it's all coming out in the runes as well. Okay, so the letter R, the letters E, N, and W. Okay, we now have swallow. This is the letter S. So we've got S, R, E, N, W. Swallow is 19, and the letter 6, 16. 19 is the debt, karmic debt. So if you know somebody that's born around the 19th, I think it's the 19th, the 13th, the 14th. I'm going to, listen, I'll bring up that information and I'll put it in a thing at the ending of the read. I'll put it in the comments. If you know someone that's born on the 19th, they came to this life with karma. And if you fuck with them, or if you're on the 19th, it's your job in this lifetime to undo the karma. So everything that's going wrong in your life, you have to turn around and correct that. And you have to help people around you. And if they're not doing that, darling dears, they're going through it. Anyhow, sun energy. This is somebody who's lacking in positivity. They've got health issues, darling dears. Any victory that they have is always short-lived. Why? It's been taken from someone else's energies. All of this and that, darling dears. It also speaks about failure, sadness, and negativity. Listen, this is their current energy, darling dears. Listen, they're upset, right? Future energy, we have Wunjo. This is represented by the letter W, right? So you've got W, R, S, E, N, and we've got W again. So that number or that letter is prevalent, darling dears. For a waste man or a waste girl. Yeah. But then again, I'm ad-libbing. Anyhow, right? Wunjo is represented by the numbers 8 and 17. So you've got 8, 17, 16, 19, and you've got radio. Radio is 5 and 7, as well as what's the other numbers? Come on, Case, come on, you've got to think, you've got to think. The other numbers was 1, 5, and 7, darling dears. Something significant happened between you and them on a Friday or a Sunday. Something significant. But this person is looking for some kind of joy. Something in their future. Maybe they want to bring something back into their future. Yeah, they want to do a bit of time. They're a time-traveling heifer. Yeah, a heifer. You ain't got no time for anyone to come and interrupt your space and time continuum. They want some kind of happiness and joy in the future, darling dears. But remember, they've got all of these reversed runes. They haven't taken off the karma that they've actually created. 79 in the chat. 7 and 9, 14, 15, 16. Tower moment. We're about to bring it, darling dears, because I told you, I do the usher here at Don't Get Smoke Central. Let's see what your ancestors think about this. God is lifting the eyes of a people that did you wrong, darling dears. Lifting that veil. They have to see what they tried to fuck over without the Vaseline. I had to drop that F-bomb, darling dears. I did. Because who gonna check me, boo? Oh, look, no ancestral protection, darling dears. Yes, baby. And they will go as far as to do what? A graveyard Watusi to try and bind you in whatever they've got going on, darling dears. Remember, protect your energies. You've got a mirror in your boudoir, you put an obsidian black crystal or a black tourmaline next to the mirror, darling dears. Protect your immortal soul. This ain't no joke. I don't joke. I don't ramp. Many people don't understand. You have to protect your energies. Protect your energies. Why? Because wisdom is for the wise. Some of them are going to what? You're going to hear about a lot of your enemies right? You didn't make them an enemy. They made you the enemy, darling dears. You're going to hear about them dying because we already saw with Swallow that they've got illnesses on them, darling dears. Illnesses. Let's get from the base of the deck. Listen, no balance in their life, darling dears. Their life is a what? Crisis. I told you, it's on the rocks of life. They've not evolved. They're going through unavoidable what? Mishap after mishap. No balance, darling dears. They're choosing the darkness over the light. Remember I told you that. And we've got a crow here in the side. You know crows, right? Crows have a memory of up to 5 years. So if you do something to a crow, even their chicks will come and attack you because they don't forget, darling dears. So this is somebody who's been carrying a belly for you. And when we in Jamaica, a belly means carrying some kind of anger, some kind of issue for you for maybe up to as long as 5 years. And again, the 5 is here. And the crow is here to tell us about the 5, darling dears. Maybe it's been 5 years since you told him to fetch the black bag's blood. Not having this. No balance in their life, darling dears. No spiritual protection. But you're also seeing what? Their eternal soul is on the line. They haven't corrected any of the mistakes that they make. They did it on purpose. It can't be a mistake if you do something on purpose. That's not a mistake. They knew what they was doing. Let's go for the middle. Listen, everything is coming in the upside down. Good golly and gosh. We've got the watchtower of the south. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The watchtower of the south. Somebody in the reverse. In the upright is someone that wants a new passion. They want to rekindle a romance. Right. They want to combine the fruits of their labor. Yes. In the and attract abundance as a duo. Listen. There's no attracting of no abundance here, blood. There's no rekindling of no romance. You've paid your knees. Like I said, they're telling everyone that you're slinging out what? Panani and Futum, darling. Yeah, but yet they can't get none. What's going on? They need to shut up and stop talking about this because you're not coming back. Not for all the tea in China. This and that, bestie. This and that. We're going to need 2 decks for this. We're going to need 2 decks for this. This one, and we're going to get the gold deck for you, darling dears. All right. Because divine is lifting their eye, the veil off their eyes about you. What's the energy around the skullduggerous ones, right? This captive audience that wish badness on you. What's their current energy at this moment in time, right? They're wanting a new beginning, darling dears. They're feeling as though they've got options, right? They feel they've got out of a situation by this, was it? The skin of their proverbial balls, darling dears. Yes, baby, they're looking back. They're looking back listen, they're looking back, but all of their what long-term goals and plans are about to be blocked by spirit. One's is representative of spirit, darling dears. This may even be what? A ring-bearing card. You could have been in a long-term situation. You could be married. Could be a family member. That also classes as a long-term situation. They deliberately caused a lot of wounding to those around them. But this is why they're blocked at this moment in time. What's this? Listen, don't worry about what they're trying to show the public, blood. This is what they're working with. No thrillers, darling dears. And this is the Page of Pentacles. This is someone looking for help. Did we not just talk about the debt that they're currently in, right? The energy of the 5 also speaks about what? Problems within a home, in their mud hut. They've got issues. If they've got progeny, they've got a progeny that likes to kick their ass, darling dears. Yep. So their progeny puts their hands on them. Imagine that. Having godless progeny in your house. Listen. I don't even know. I couldn't imagine it, darling dears. My progeny that came from my good seat of emperors and empresses putting their hands on me. Hey, listen, you'll be sending me care packages, right? Because I'll be at His Majesty's pleasure, right? For the foreseeable future, right? Because if you don't train your progeny in the right way and they can do that to you, they'll do it to someone else. You train your progeny, right? Listen, the progeny is giving it to them, darling dear. Their progeny forces them to do things for them, tangible things. This could be what? It could be the home. It could be what to do their home. It could be anything. Their progeny is not nice, and their progeny picks on them, and their progeny puts their hands on them, darling dear. They've had their progenies kick their ass many times that they've had to shut up and sit down. Yeah, listen. What else is going on? Why else they watching you? Because the bad luck is on them, and this is generational cursation, darling dear. No money. I told you it's a destabilized mud hut that they're living in. Base of the deck. This is why all eyes are on you. All right. Before we break this down, let's see what's going on with the bestie at this moment in time. What's going on with the big cat? Who's minding their own business? Listen, you're the CEO of minding your own business, right? Oh, let me show you how you do this. Listen, I come with all of the props and everything. I've got my whiteboard. I just need to explain something to you. Let me get a quick pen. All right. Can you see? Got something to explain to you, right? This is you. Can you see? This is you, bestie, and this is them, right? But they're not over here. This is you in your business, minding your own business, being the CEO of your life, right? And that was them, where they're supposed to be. But no, they're in your business here, which is what? A big no-no. Why? Because God said no, right? Let's dive a little deeper. We also have here, what does that represent? It represents progeny. Progeny, right, under 18. Where should they be? In progeny's business, right? And if they're over here in your business, that is another no-no, right? Why? Because they should mind their own business, like you're minding your own business. Listen, there's nothing like a diagram to let you know what's going on. They're focused on you. Their progeny is focused on you. Everybody's watching you. Why? Because you are blessed and highly favored. And the blessed and highly favored are always under surveillance. Do you get me? Give me a cat if you understand. You, however, you like, this is your lane. This is your lane, right? This is where you will find the big cat, right? You'll find you in your lane, right? You won't find you over here because you'll be on the rocks of life, right? You won't find a big cat over here because that is the rocks of life. This is a no-no. This is a no-no. You stay in your lane, right? Yet they come out of their lane, right? Their progeny is under the age of 18, right? Who should be in child business, progeny's business over here. They come out of their lane, right? Out of their mud hut. And they're all in your business. Yeah, here you are. In your lane. In your lane. Listen, we have to work out things to find out what's going on, so that I need you to understand what's going on, right? We stay in our lane. Right? We stay in our lane. Look at this marker that my son just put. Look, I can't get it like I mix it with all. I can't. What's going on with you? They're looking back at a stable foundation. Listen, an 11-11 fade for number one. Mind your own business. Right? Attracting like-minded souls. Some of you have a party or a celebration that you're going to be going to. This could also speak about a job, a new business. Something major is going on with you at this moment in time. Listen, God is gifting you with more, darling dears. There is nothing like, there's no Oliver Twist in your vocabulary. Divine is gifting you more. Why is Divine gifting you more? Let's go back to the whiteboard. As I said, God is gifting you more as a big cat because you are here. You are here in your own lane, minding your own business. Yet everybody is left. Look, they've all left their mud hut, right? Let me bring this down. They've left their mud hut And all of them is here in your business as you are in your lane. Right? Listen, I've got to use the visuals. Minding your business, blood. And God is saying, here you are, my child. Here you are for your due diligence, for not getting angry, for not seeking revenge. Pentacles is tangible things, darling dears. You got the education. Some of you are keyboard gangster. You went to God. You didn't go to them. You cried to God. You didn't cry for revenge. You cried for strength. You cried for guidance. You cried for wisdom. You cried to keep your knees together. You minded your business. You did. What's this? Doesn't want to come off the table. And the cup of love, your cup of abundance runneth over. I've told you this many times, bestie. This Ace of Cups is filled with many things. Many things. Abundance comes in many forms. Love of self, darling dears. I like to say this is my multiple streams of income. You got great with it, darling dears. You've been doing the due diligence. This is somebody who's done the work. Libra energy, right? Contractual relationships. The 7th house, darling dears. You realize certain things weren't for you, and God said, doesn't matter. Let them dissipate from your life, and I will pour into you. This is why they're watching. This is why the veil is being lifted off their eyes. Listen, love, happiness, romance, relationships, it's all going to come to you, but in God's time. What? I just felt the energy of when is a relationship coming? All right. If that's what you care about, I don't care. If that's what you care about, listen, I'm your best friend. I'm not a picker. I'm a pointer. You want to know, when is this relationship coming? Right? We've got the Lovers card, darling dears. Lean in, darling dears. The Lovers is represented by Gemini energy. So we're looking Gemini season between the 22nd of May and the 21st of June. And we just spoke about relationships, right? This is why I tell you, the cards don't lie. People do. If it's a relationship, a solid relationship, a soul partnership, it's going to come in Gemini season. And this is between... What's this? Did you see that fall over, bestie? The ancestors are agreeing with you, darling dears. This relationship, as I said, it's going to be between the 22nd of May and the 21st of June. All right. Stop asking me. Right? Because I'm going to be like this. I'm telling you again. I'm not telling you again. You need to cap that and stop asking me. Right? It's going to come when I said. Right? And if you keep forcing it, you'll be heartbroken. Why? You're going to release, right, the devil's most diligent worker from the crevice of the devil's ball. Don't do it. Right? That person will come and cause confusion. You wait on God's time. Continue to work on yourself so you can be the best version of yourself. I'm not telling you off. I'm your best friend. I just have to talk to you harsh sometimes. That's what friends are for. 'Cause after all, that's what friends are for. Yeah. Anyhow, abundance is coming your way, darling dears, in many forms. What's this? But the shady energy is also coming in. The moon energy, people that betrayed you, people that are still chopping it up in them streets about you. Moon energy is feminine energy. They're a Mitch bitch or a bitch Mitch. This veil is being lifted off their eyes. They're being illuminated to you. And you are what? A bender of the matrix, darling dears. You are the comeback cat. Didn't they know you was a bionic cat? Well, if they didn't know, they know now. They know now. God is making sure that they see that you are what? Like the rock of ages. What is this? Full of good ideas. Some of you are getting spiritual downloads. Listen to them, darling dears, because it's going to create new ventures for you. Pages about you having the will, the energy to create these new businesses, these new ideas that are coming to you. You have the strength to follow them through. Write them down and follow them through. Why? Because Father God is gifting you, darling dears. But you have to be brave. Favor favors the brave and the bold. None of these cards said, right, that you are in anyone else's business, but yet here they are. Watching you, darling dears. Their energy. What else? One more card. If it's on the floor, then it's coming through the door. Let's get this card off the floor. You know what this card means. Victory, darling dears. victory. So some of you need to relax. I don't mean relax like sit catatonic, right? Stop worrying about the next step or where this is and where. Have faith. Wands is about you doing the due diligence. You're doing the work. You're working towards what you want. Have faith, right? This is 2 6s on the tableau, darling dears. When we see 2 6s on the tableau, right, you have to remember, don't regret anything that happened to you in the past. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. The only thing that you are responsible is for your healing from those situations. And when you open up your heart, divine will pour into you. But you have to open your heart and be sure and be clear that you intend to go forwards, not backward, darling dears. Know this, darling dears. Know this. Base of your deck, you're an earth angel. You have a foot in both worlds. Your ancestral teams applaud you, right? Your security, you can call them at any time. 101 in the chat as you're getting the 101 on what's going on. Right, we know what's going on with you. Let's move you out of the way because this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is all about them. So the veil is being lifted. They're seeing that you're stable, darling dears. They're seeing that you're strong. They're seeing that you're able to what? Co-create lendables. Lendables is tangible things. They're seeing that you're grounded. They're seeing that you're reliable. They are seeing that you're loyal, but you're not loyal to them. As I said, some of them are getting their asses kicked. This is no joke. They're being beaten by their own progeny, darling dears. Right? And they can't get them out the house. Why? Because it's part of their karma. Yet they're still watching you. All right, let's break it down even more. So what else they seeing? Oh my God, look at this. It's a mother energy that's being beaten up by her children, darling dear. No healing, and this is an unstable mud hut. So this woman is being beaten by her children, but yet all she's doing is focusing on you. She needs to focus on the mud hut blood. Listen. I don't even want to think. O'Shea, come here. Would you ever tell these people? Would you ever cuss me out?
Nah, I can't do it. I can't even
Would
say
you?
swears.
What was that?
I can't even say swears around me. So I'm
He-
gonna block.
Did you hear that? He can't even say swear words around me. What would you do? Right? Would you put your hands on me?
Nah, I can't do that.
Why wouldn't you do it?
I respect you.
All right then. Bye. Bye, favorite son. Listen, I'm not forcing him to say these things. You teach your progeny how to treat you from when they're young. If you listen, it says you. What's that saying? You treat the rod how it's going to be. And oh, I can't remember. If you know it, put it in the chat, darling dears. They're focused on you, darling dear. They're focused because the veil is being lifted from their eyes. All right. The baddest of them all. They don't understand how you got self-worth, how you got co-created. Why your progeny love you, darling dears. They don't understand these things because their mind doesn't work like yours. I told you their progeny is what? Giving them all two-piece and not from the KFC. Baddest of them all. They want to know how come you're the empress. You know your worth, you're abundant, right? Listen. Whatever weapon they're trying to form against you, darling dears, it's not going to work. Why? Because you're a child of God. Because you didn't seek revenge. Right? Look! Spellcasters. This is jealousy, darling dears. And in some circumstances where they are right now, they're being cheated on. Their mistress has a mistress. Nothing is working for them. In the Palace of Wands that's on its face. Right? This is people that fight, darling dears. Fighting. Lots of arguments. Look. Breadcrumbed at every turn. And they're dealing with narcs. And this is the God card. I told you the Emperor can be the God card. No God is in this situation. Or if there is a God, listen, we don't know which God they worship, darling dears. We don't know. Right? They're feeling burdened at this moment in time. 10-10, they would love to break away from this situation, but this is the karma they've created for themselves. They need to take your name out their mouth. Their eyes are for you. Why are they watching you so hard? Let's see. We know the veil is being lifted off their eyes, darling dears. Why? Because you didn't come back. Because you continue on. Listen. Because they want to avoid their karma, darling dears. I told you, you're going to be getting some form of communication over the next few days. They're trying to avoid the karmic situation they're under. What's this? Right? Told you. They've got their effing skin peeling liar. Any apology they give is only going to be for their benefit. They're not going to tell you why they're sorry. They're just going to say they're sorry. I told you. This is who they work for. The devil. We've also got the king of peas on its face. Brock pocketers, darling. They took a gamble and a risk with you. Right? Here you are again. Standing next to the biggest pentacali of them all. I can't make it up. Jealousy. Oh my God. The evil eye of jealousy is on you. What else are they? What are they talking? What are they saying about the bestie? What are they saying about the bestie? That you're single and that you're bending the matrix and they don't understand how? What else are they? They're saying that. They're saying that. What the cards are saying? They're saying this. Right? Listen. Oh my God. If they're having what? A face-off about progeny, they need to forget. They don't talk about their progeny in the same breath as you, darling dears. Their progeny even speak about you, darling dears. That's how they've educated their progeny. They talk about anything in front of their progeny, especially you, bestie. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't, because how you're being revealed to them, they should what? Pay homage and stay away and mind their own business. Why? Well, go back to the whiteboard. Because you're here in your lane. You're not focused on what's going on over there and there, but yet here they are, not focused on their mud hut, right, with all of this confusion and controversy. Everybody's over here. And what's here? The big cat's business. Right. They need to stop it. Okay, so they want to come back, but they're not going to give you a full apology, darling. This is the devil's most diligent workers focused on you. All right, let's narrow it down. They want to come and give someone an apology. This is somebody who is what? Obsessively jealous of you at this moment in time. They're jealous. Listen, they ain't seen nothing yet. They need to stay tuned. Why? We're coming to what? 2024. Season 2 is coming. They need to stay focused. Let them stay focused. Divine is making sure that they see everything, darling dears. Age of Aquarius being revealed. Yeah. What's this? Sun energy. They see that you're happy, darling dears. Knight of Cups, as I said, they want to come through and apologize to you. But listen, I told you who they work for. They are the devil's most diligent workers, darling dears. They're living in reverse root chakra. And when your root chakra is reversed, it destabilizes all of your other chakras, darling dears. This is obsessive compulsive behavior. This is addictions, darling dears. This is being bound in situations that are addictive, darling dears. People, places and things. And I told you, some of them are getting their ass kicked by their progeny. Yeah. They're attracted to what you've got, darling dears. But they know that it's not going to be easy to get back at you again. They can't get you. You don't live at the same address, even if you physically live there. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all of the above. You are not at the same address. They can't get back. They're attracted to what you have. But it's only through jealousy. Jealousy, darling dears. Why? I told you the veil is being lifted. They must have a front row seat. They must. Look, you had the Ace of Cups in the upright. They've got it in the reverse. All of their relationships, darling dears, their emotions. This person is emotionally deficit. They're black-hearted and mean, darling dears. And they're getting that meanness around them. Again, this goes to what? 9 of Cups. No emotional fulfillment in anything they've got going on in life, darling dears. No emotional fulfillment. Imagine that, how that must feel. The devil don't care. The devil likes it. The devil is getting this jewel, right? What they were seeking, they've actually got. Look. The reason why the majority of them are watching you is because they're disappointed. They're looking like a dumbass and a dickhead. This dummy bat knows that you will never accept any form of cup from them. Why? It's full of what? Opium, fuckanese, right? And cognitive dissonance. They know it, right? They're going to try and stop them, but they can't. They're going to still try and come through, darling dears. Because again, we've seen the what? The scales, Libra energy, 7th house. They want this friendship from you. They want your energy. And they will offer you anything. I didn't even realize this person is holding the sign of Libra. They want this friendship from you, darling dears. They want your energy. They want to be able to balance out their life off of what you got going on. Right? Because God is lifting the veil off of their eyes. Right? Page of Wands. Why is the Page of Wands here? The Page of Wands speaks about new things. I'm not taking all of these cards. It's all confusion, blood. Listen, they know that whatever they're saying or whatever they're doing, it's not hurting you. Why? Because you go on. I told you, you are the ever-ready catch. You've got, they don't realize that you're in your second wind. You haven't even got to what? The main ta-da moment yet, darling dears. You haven't got to the main checkmate yet, darling dears. They know this. They know that their words is not hurting you. What they did is not hurting you. Why? Because you're still here. You look good. You're getting great, darling dears. You're getting gifts. You're being gifted by the people that are around you, by the circumstances that you are creating, darling dears. They know that what they did and what they're saying is not hurting you. Hey, let's go to the green cards for the envious ones, right? These are my intuitive cards that I was guided. What? Continue to move in silence, darling dears. Don't take back their friendship, right? What's this? The barren, right? Barren means bad luck. It means like no future ideas. It means like any seed they sow is not going to go anywhere. And somebody may even be childless. They may even be trying to get pregnant at this moment in time, right? They've got secret addictions. Jesus, they need to keep it secret, blood. We don't need to know that intel. Nope. Nope. That's a big fat no, right? And look, they will go as far as spell work. Spell work, darling dears. Do not, I repeat, allow them in your domicile. If you've got anything that these wicked people have given you, you get rid of it. I don't care what it is. It could be the biggest, most fanciest diamond. Sell that bitch. Sell that bitch. Get rid of whatever you have for them, darling dears. If you don't have anything for them, they know how your domicile is. Move your shit around. Let no one have the imprint of how you sleep in your bed or what your bedroom. Move your things around, blood. Move them around. You have to be like water in the flow of things, darling dears. What's this? Something is coming through for you next week. Could be them, darling dear. Like I said, they want to communicate. They want to communicate. Rumblings in the mud hut, right? And they're a thief of everything, darling dear. What did I say? They're a slanderer, right? A swindler, right? A pilferer, a porch climber, a bandit, a crook, a cut person, a clip, right? Listen. What's this, right? Divine is dealing with, listen, it's not your battle. Divine is dealing with them. Father, God, Mother, Isis. Don't you listen. And then make it worse. Your ancestors have been dispatched on your behalf. And your ancestors are petty. There is no kind of what? Retreat or surrender when your ancestors turn up. God is dealing with them. It is not your battle. Right? Self-love. Yeah? Straight up to their face. Let's go with the yellow one for the cowardice, darling dear. For the cowardice, right? No matter how they try to come back, you must be like a barren field. You must make your eyes blank. And I know it's going to be hard, best friend. I know it's going to be hard. But every time you think about what they, them, and did to you, you're reliving that pain. You're giving that pain energy. I'm not saying that it's easy to scrub your brain, but you have to think about what you attained, the gifts you've been given, the strength that you have, all of the things. Whenever they come in your mind, think of what you've created. When you think about what they did, think of how strong you are. You're strong. Think about that. You are the master of your mind, and it's about you getting control of your conscious mind. And once you control your conscious mind, your subconscious mind gets activated, and that's when you're able to say what? Checkmate. Trust and believe. That's where we manifest from. I tell you this all of the time, bestie, and you are in manifestation mode. Listen, when I put up that Pluto reading, I'm going to do how it's going to affect your sun and rising signs, darling dears, over the next 12 months, right, for 2024. But Pluto being in Aquarius is going to be there until what? 2043. I told you of the major things that happened last time. And Pluto this is a once in a lifetime move. Pluto is a generational planet that affects everybody on this Malkuth, whether you want to believe it or not. You can go back through history, look at the astrology of where Pluto was when it was here in the 1700s, in the 1500s. Pluto's not coming back right, in Aquarius for another 225 years. This is significant for us on a personal level and on a planetary level, right? And I'm going to put that information out there because, listen, bestie, I give you the tools. You do what you want to do, but I give you enough to pique your brain, darling, just because I can't just serve it to you like that. You have to be that keyboard gangster. You have to be willing to find out. Why? Because God is dealing with they, them, and It's not your battle. Don't worry about what they did. Like I said, you're gonna have flashbacks when you least expect it. You're not to fall into the flashback. When that flashback comes, remember, you have to hold that conscious mind thought and bend it. You turn it around. Think about what God has gifted you, darling dears. Think about how far you come. Think about what you are about to achieve. Think about those things instead. Every time you think about the bad things that they did, you give that thing life. You give it your energy and your focus. And where your focus goes, it grows. And in some cases, if you focus on it too much, that person, place, or thing will turn up like Beetlejuice or Candyman. Remember I told you that. The mind is a powerful thing. Don't waste it on a mud huttian. Don't. I know it's not easy, especially if you are at the beginning of your DNS, the dark night of the soul. But you hang in there, Scotty. Put your back into it, Scotty. Train your mind, Scotty. Even if the only good thing you've got to think of that day is that you got up and you washed your panani or your futon. It takes time. It takes time. But you don't have to live in what they did. This is why they try to do. They try to poison you in your mind and let you carry that belly, that pain, that hurt, that injury. What they did to you wasn't your fault, darling dears, but your healing and your bending of the matrix is on you. This is why God is going to show every one of them whom you are. And you are big cat, you are ibex, you are prototype of your lineage. You can make anything. They will see you walk on water and they will still be in the background saying that bitch can't swim, that's why she's walking on water. That's why he's walking on water, because they can't swim. They want to judge you, right? The same way they would judge a fish's ability to climb a tree. Baby! Hey! Let's go to the envious card. They're not committed to nothing, right? And look, they will use spell work. So if they have any idea of what your domicile was like, darling dears, move your shit around. Right? You're not committed to these people, right? What? What's this? They're broke. Brock pocketus. Buddy, have you got a dime? Pentacles is tangible things. Confident, good, confident people around you, darling dear. People that give you good advice. People that will help you out of a situation. People that will sit and cry with you and really mean it. Feel sorry. They ain't got none of that. Right? You was always the prize, period, point blank. Never you forget that, bestie, right? This is what they want. They want you to be easy and willing to do anything to have their energy. Their energy, listen, don't let me start telling you off, bestie. What? They want to know why you've blocked them. That's gonna have me like Sylvester the cat, like I cannot. In the words of Jocelyn Hernandez, I cannot. They want to know why you block them. Let me calm down. I've already got the fan on, right? Because I'm having a hot flash. Right? What's going on? This is what I said. What did I say? Divine is lifting the veil, right, off their eyes to see you for whom you truly are. Right? What's this? They're totally devastated. They're upset, darling. They're pressed, pumped, and perturbed that they fucked over a chosen one. Right? 130 in the chat. What's this? I'm so sorry. Give me another chance. Baby! I'm a minute. And if you give them another chance. Did you hear that? That's how they're gonna laugh. Yeah, and that's how they're gonna shut the door behind you. Possibly the grave door. I don't know, blood. But remember, you give them another chance. Give them another chance. Right? What's this? Stealth mode. We as Big Cat, like I said, let's go back to the whiteboard. Big Cat, this is you and your stay in your lane, darling dears. You don't have no what? You got no business worrying about them. You got no business listen, this is a single person lane, right? You may have progeny, you may even have a partner, but your own lane, even if you got a partner, you still have to claim dominion over yourself, right? You stay in your lane, right? Put Father God, Mother Isis at the head of your table, right? You go, you find your Chiron, right? Your Chiron will show you how to heal. Your Lilith will show you your dark side, how you'll be triggered, right? You go to the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th house. It will show you how to make money, darling dears. Make a business, find a career. Find where your part of fortune is on your birth natal chart. We were gifted with this. This is our blueprint. It's our snapshot of the Akashic records. Many people want to say it's witchcraft, this and that. But how comes we've got these skills? How comes I know to read? How comes you know to read? How comes you can read people's energy before they open their mouth? Because you are a chosen one. But you didn't understand it when you had this energy before you actually went and researched, before you became a keyboard gangster. You didn't understand what you had, but you know now. You continue in your lane, right? God is in this lane. Abundance is in this lane. Your soul tribe is in this lane. Because in this lane, right, you're working on yourself. You're not over here, right, in the empty mud hut trying to find out their business, right? You're not over here, right, trying to engage with their poisonous progeny who's under the age of 18 that's kicking their ass. That's none of your business. This is a big no-no. This no-no. No-no. Imagine that. Imagine how it must feel, darling dear, to know that you're looking in the mirror and your eye is fat because your progeny punched it in. This progeny that's under the age of 18 punched it in. Or slapped you across your face or spit on you. Imagine how they feel. Now just imagine that energy, right? And there they are in their wickedness. Look what's up here, right? We've got the energy of the 4, bestie. The energy of the 4 is what? The 4th planet. It's Venus, darling dears. Love of self. Love of self. Abundance. Co-creating. Knowing your worth, darling dears. Imagine that. They've just been beaten up, right? By their under 18. Right? Let's get back to the map. Right? Let's get back to the whiteboard. Some of them are being beaten up right, cussed out, right, by their underage, and they still have to pour into them. Why? Because they're a fool, and a fool will always do foolishness amongst what? Fools, right? All of this is happening to them, and then guess what? God lifts up another veil, and here you are, number 4. 4 represents what? Stability, security, and manifestation mode, darling. Just imagine the hate. Just imagine the hate. And they're going to have the dare, have the what? Strength to come and call you again, send you a message. That message will land and create a hole in your carpet or burn up your phone. Mars energy in the reverse. Mars energy is somebody who's covertly aggressive, darling dears. This is somebody who uses their instincts, right, to gain the upper hand in a situation. They want the upper hand over you, right, but they don't have the upper hand over the progeny that's kicking their ass. Imagine that. Listen, I've got to blow my nose. I told you. Anytime I'm doing readings, I get a lot of mucus around my head area. Well, where else is it going to come from? And if it comes from anywhere else, I ain't telling you, blood. That's TMI. TMI. Yeah. This is what's going on, darling dears. So you continue to be your best version of yourself. The only person you're in competition with is the cat you was yesterday. And when these awful thoughts come up, darling dears, you counteract that with something that you're doing well for yourself. Even if only that well thing you did that day was to wash your own pananium for tummy. Listen, it takes time. Work on you. If you need to get counseling, psychological help, you go and get that shit. I've told you about Better Health many times. You type in what your issue is, and they put in a whole plethora of people that you can interview, right? Till you find the right counselor for you. But you go and get that help, because Divine wants to give you more. More. But you don't let the darkness back in. Right, I think I've said enough. We've been here for 71 minutes. Bestie, why didn't you stop me? 133 in the chat. That goes to a 7. What's that? A highly spiritual number. We are still in a spiritual year, darling dears. You are a spiritual badass. Remember I told you that. And they haven't seen nothing yet. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Only the tip. On that note, I drops me mic. Todd love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. If you'd like a personal read, hit me up in the Gmail. All of my intel is in the description box below. Let them fight in their mind about you, darling dears. It's not your portion. It's not. Don't worry what they're saying to you about you in these streets, darling dears. Remember, they're slinging that what? Fucking blood to the feeble-minded that are in worse positions than them, and everyone has a spiritual debt to pay. Let them do what they want to do. You can't stop them. They're going to talk about you anyway. When they talk about you, they don't realize that your energy as a chosen one is transmuted into light. Focus in your own lane. Be the CEO of your own business. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. They can't wait until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat. Don't forget to share the live, darling dears.